What if I tell you that this QR code contains an entire game? No, not a link to one, that'll be far too easy, and not something like Basic Snake, an endless generating 3D first person shooter game that's kind of like Doom. So here I say, I'm Kuber. I'm a 19-year-old CSAI sophomore from India. I'll walk you through one of the craziest projects I did in the last year called the Backdooms, which is essentially an insane compression problem in disguise. Before we dive in, I'll show you that this actually works. This is a QR code scanner, and if you do paste it, sure enough, the game works. Uh, Infinitely generating maps, heat system, the whole thing. But this doesn't look like Doom. Why? So I'll walk you through that. This is a size 40 QR code, what we're using. The maximum data it can store is actually 2953 bytes or 2.9 kilobytes. Doom's chain gun sprite, which is like a very small sprite the character uses, is 1.2 kilobytes. So clearly, Doom was out of question. We had to definitely get creative. The episode premise was actually fitting the entire game in less than 3 paragraphs of text. This is what I wanted, right? Wolfenstein 3D effects, which was basically the 3D rendering trick Doom actually uses. Uh, no game engine, no libraries, no fancy effects because frankly we didn't have space for it. And infinitely generating map because Backdooms is cool, NPC spawning, and a seed system like Minecraft. All under 2.5 kilobytes. Not 2.9 because we actually have to put this in a QR code and we need a whole payload for that too. So, keeping this in mind, I started the development process, which was insane and it required minified JavaScript. To give you a bit of taste, this is how the game actually looks in the end, but I'll show you a previous version which is a bit more readable. Readable if you're an LLM, because unless you just see this, this in no way looks like HTML, right? But I'll walk you through how this actually worked. This was a function to draw the actual walls for the game, and after minification, it kind of looks like this. It's like a whole process to turn it much smaller using small variable names, and well, it kind of did work. It looked like 20 or 30 tries, but we had a version which was sort of working in 2.5 kilobytes with some sacrifices. But there's another elephant in the room which I'll address. So this is a QR code, right? This is a basic run-to-the-mill link QR code. It can either have binary data or plain text data, and all the links we do have do come in the plain text. The usual solution for actually having something like this, which is raw data, expand from the QR code, is use base64. But our entire data looks more like this, which is freaking insane. We are literally stretching the limits. And the other problem is that base64, while it looks cool, we had like a 2.5 kilobyte game, and base64 had a 33% overhead. That's like 1.9 kilobyte left for the game. And I won't lie, this was kind of the point where I considered giving up. There were no real solutions left on the internet. I checked Stack Overflow for once, and I talked to LLMs for like 2 days, and most of them just said that put it in a link and host it, and I was like, that's not the point. But then I think it was DeepSeek that casually threw in something called the decompression stream API. Oh yeah, this was also the time where I found this Matt Casey video of him trying to run a game inside of a QR code, and this was his game and not this. It made a lot of sense why. So yeah, decompression stream web API. When I found this, I searched it up on GitHub, and there were literally 6 projects that ever use it in its history. I had to pull up these docs and see that most browsers support it. So why is it not more common? To put it into perspective, decompression stream is like WinRAR for your browser. It takes something which is gzip or zlib wrapped, and it basically allows you to have something which is very compressed, and it's able to dynamically uncompress it inside of the browser. It works on phones, on your Samsung smart fridge, and obviously your laptops. So I mean, it was kind of good to go. But there was one more trick up its sleeve. Even with this, 2.5 kilobytes was a little bit insane to fit into. So I found this cool neat trick where if you compress it with with zlib, run the encoding and the decompression stream entire process, and then run it with gzip again, it saved about 100 bytes. And in this case, 100 bytes are very, very, very precious to us. So yeah, I made a custom compression pipeline for this to actually able to run something which is like 2.5 kilobytes in proper binary to convert it into a game that fits inside of a QR code or anything self-executing really. And yeah, it works. I posted it on Hacker News with no expectations. It did over 500 upvotes and insane traction from the community. Did really well on Reddit and LinkedIn. But what was most surprising is an ex-NASA researcher actually used the same compression pipeline as this to encode Apollo 11's code inside of this, which was really insane to see. And it kind of set the pace for some of the later crazy projects I did too. So yeah, this was the Backrooms. I hope you do like it, and I hope you do make sure that you don't scan random QR codes, because if a game can fit into it, malware definitely can. Thank you, and I hope to see you in SF.